Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. 'Cause I'm not holding it in anymore. I'm gonna shout it out loud. I understand now what I'm here for and what this life is about. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand, lending a hand. So swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine.
Good morning. Welcome to Unity Spiritual Center. Today and every day, we have swung wide the doors to the presence of God, knowing that Spirit is in this place and in all places and all people. Just as the sun awakens us to a new day, the Spirit of God within awakens us to divine glory. And this glory within and around us is everywhere we look and in every situation we encounter. With our hearts centered in Spirit, we can quiet our thoughts and meditate on the wonder of all of God's creation and our oneness with it. So take a deep breath, become comfortable, and gently release any cares of the day. Your sole purpose at this moment is to experience the divine, and you begin to do so now as you relax in the sacred time and space at Unity Spiritual Center. Seeing through eyes of oneness, acknowledging our oneness, we at Unity Spiritual Center celebrate and honor people of every culture, of every creed, of every religion, of every race, of every age, and every lifestyle, knowing that there are many paths to God, many faces of God, many names for God, but only one God. And that God is expressing through all people in unique, special, and individual ways. As you look at the flame of the candle that we light every Sunday, remember that you too have a divine flame within, and that you are an individualized expression of God. We honor the one presence and one power of God with Unity's foundation statement, which you'll find on the screen, and I invite you to join me in saying it aloud together. There is only one presence and one power, active as the universe and as my life, God the good, omnipotent. We give thanks for our spiritual community and for the beauty of our spiritual center. We give thanks that Unity Spiritual Center is a welcoming, warm, and inclusive community dedicated to studying and putting into practice empowering principles and tools for happiness, health, prosperity, and successful living. We give thanks that with our spiritual teachings, we can create extraordinary lives and a peaceful planet through our relationship with the loving God presence within each one of us and through our relationships with one another. Our vision and the opportunity for each one of us here is that you discover the power within you to create the life of your dreams, that you have peace of mind and deep happiness, that you enjoy joyous and loving relationships with yourself, with spirit, and with others, that you spend your days doing what you love and feel called to do, and most of all, that you know that your life matters, that you make a difference, and that the world is a better place because you're here. If you're visiting us for the first time, and I know at least one of you is, we do have a gift for you. So just raise your hand if this is your first time. We'd love to give you, actually Shantae has we got the chance to meet, and Shantae received her gift earlier. Is there anyone else? There we go. What we love to do for people who are visiting us for the first time is to give them a shell lei that has a tag on it that says, just as God has a design for every shell in the sea, God also has a design for your life. We know that being around a table can give us a sense of connection, so that's why you see a few tables in our sanctuary. It's a symbol of the warmth and the community that we can enjoy when gathered around a table. And each table has a couple of communal journals, so you are always invited to write a reflection, a poem, a prayer, a favorite quotation, anything that you would like to share with us just to help us to get to know you a little bit better. And of course, we also have food tables in our next room, our hospitality room, and today is a wonderful day to be here because we have our annual Memorial Day weekend barbecue. So I hope that all of you visiting us for the first time and all of you visiting us, period, will join us outside and in the Fillmore room for a wonderful barbecue that we are preparing for you. And just a reminder to the people who are first-timers and to everyone who attends Unity Spiritual Center, that if you'd ever like to have a conversation about Unity, if you'd like to know more about Unity, please don't hesitate to call me, because I would always love to have those conversations with you. And my contact information is printed on the back of our newsletter. So at this time, as we move into the meditative portion of our service and prepare to raise our voices together in song, please do turn off or mute any cell phones or other electronic devices if you haven't already. Thank you. And Michael, are we doing a singing, a sit down?
I think we can stand for this one because we're going to talk about using us, and we want to keep our blood flowing a little bit here. And I think we all know this one. Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. We'll sing that again. Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. And God needs us to shine its light. God needs us to shine its light. God needs us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. One more time. Oh, use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. I heard you. Thank you.
So now, as we continue to get comfortable in our seats, relaxing even more deeply into this time of worship, prayer, and meditation, let us open our hearts to receive the message of today's daily word, which will be read by Brian Lance.
Good morning, everyone. Today's daily words are divine expression. I am designed to see light and love. Ralph Waldo Emerson described prayer as the soliloquy of a beholding and jubilant soul. Divine Spirit is always inviting me to behold the love within my heart and to celebrate it. I was born with an unlimited capacity of joy and love, so it is easy for me to live as the jubilant soul Emerson identified. When I pray, I acknowledge truth's expression in my being. I acknowledge the divine expression in all living things. I release any preconceived images and ideas about people and situations, and instead behold the divine in each one. From this higher viewpoint, I see goodness in all. With a gladness of heart, I embrace my proclivity to see the divine in me and around me. And then from Acts 17:28, for in him we live and move and have our being, as even some of your own poets have said, for we too are his offspring.
Thank you, Brian. Unity Spiritual Center of San Francisco is a center of prayer and healing. We have a communal prayer box that is in the back of our sanctuary. Next to it are green prayer request forms, and you are always invited to fill one out and place it in the box. But let's just take a moment to hold those requests in our box, in our heart, and know that perfect divine love is enfolding each person represented in the prayer chest, and that divine order is taking place for all concerned. The prayer requests that are placed in the box are prayed on by me and our USC prayer team for 30 days. And then we forward them to Silent Unity at Unity's World Headquarters, where they're prayed on for an additional 30 days. So again, we have green prayer request forms in the back, and you are always invited to fill one out and place it in the box. But we do have a place in our service where you can make your prayers audible. This is your time, if you choose, to let your prayer needs known to your spiritual family here so that we can support you and stand with you. So after we sing the introduction to this song, which Michael will lead us through and which is a call and response, You're invited to speak your prayer aloud, and we will answer each prayer request that is offered by singing "Your Prayer is My Prayer Too."
We are connected by the heart. Where do you end? Where do I start? Whatever you feel, I feel too. You're a part of me, I'm a part of you. Your prayer is my prayer too. 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 Your prayer is my prayer too.
We give thanks for this opportunity to bless and to be blessed in spirit. We give thanks for the feelings of connection, peace, and warmth that fill our hearts and minds right now. We give thanks for the privilege of praying for others in our community, in our nation, and around the globe. And we affirm that always and in all ways, divine love and order is everywhere present. At Unity Spiritual Center, your prayer is our prayer too. And so it is.
For my next trick, I'm going to employ our sound man as a percussionist. So Andrew, would you please come forward and help me out? I can hear him coming from the back. Anyone else want to join in? They can. There is a basket full of toys because we're going to do this tune as if Bob Marley was interpreting it. Is that okay? Is that okay? I think we need to get in that laid-back kind of feeling. At the same time, we're going to ask for help when we need it, which is a good thing to be able to do. I know a lot of us, including me, I am the last one to ask for help. But usually if you've got a good friend and they're observing what's going on, they can look around and go, I think I could give him a hand. He seems to be handling it, but not all that well. So here's the tune for that. Help, I need somebody. Help, not just anybody. Help, I need someone. Help. And like this. When I was younger, so much younger than today, never needed anybody's help in any way. But now these days are gone and I'm not so self-assured. Now I find I changed my mind, I've opened up the door. Oh, help me if you can, I'm feeling down. And I do appreciate your being around. Oh, help me get my feet back on the ground. Won't you please help me? Okay, hold it. We're stopping everything. We're stopping everything. I said I needed help. I needed help. I said I needed help. I said I needed help. Help. Grab something. Anything is a lot. Is that fun? Okay, yeah, get another thing. Come on now. These two knock together. You flip one like that, and then knock. That's all you do. Start life. Start your life. We are drafting the whole family. One for you, baby. There you go. Okay. So we start to run out, but there you go. All right. Now we have some help. Okay. We have help. I'm talking to the internet here. We're on YouTube right now. We are live. Help! Look at my help. Let's hear the sound. Come on, everybody ready? Okay. All right. Now we have help. And now my life has changed in oh so many ways. My independence seemed to vanish in the haze. But every now and then I feel so insecure. Now I find I need you like I've never done before. Sing it out. Help me if you can, I'm feeling down. And I do appreciate you being around. Help me get my feet back on the ground. And won't you please, please help me. And now, when I was younger, so much younger than today, I never needed anybody's help in any way. But now these days are gone, I'm not so self-assured. Now I find I changed my mind, I've opened up the door. Oh, help me if you can, I'm feeling down. And I do appreciate you being around. Oh, help me get my feet back on the ground. All together, won't you please, please help me, help me, help me. Ooh. That's what we're talking about. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll bring it back to it. This is the opposite of collection. Turn in your tools.
Oh, Lord. I'm sweating. Oh, well, good morning, everyone. This is our annual Memorial Day weekend. And before we go any further, I just want to acknowledge what this Day means, why we celebrate Memorial Day, and that is, of course, to honor everyone who gave their life in service to our country. So for a moment, let's just give a moment of silent appreciation for all those who died in service to our country. And I know that there are people out there who lost a spouse, a sibling, a parent, a child in the armed services defending our country. For anyone who did, would you please stand up so we can just honor that incredible gift that was given to us. And I'd also, And I'd also like to appreciate all those who have served in the military. We do that usually on Veterans Day, but we also want to do it today. So anyone who served in the military at all, please stand up. Thank you so much for your contribution and your service to our country. We are so grateful. So, we live in a wild world, don't we? We do, especially these days, it feels that way. And I was really struck by the juxtaposition of something on Monday. Because on Monday, I watched my 13-year-old get ready for her last dance of middle school, which was actually the first dance she'd ever bothered going to. She's finally hit the age where it was kind of interesting to her. It seemed like something she wanted to do. So she and her friends got ready and they curled their hair, and I think they got some contraband makeup on and carefully picked out the clothes that they were going to wear. And I went to go pick her up, and I was struck by the sweetness, such sweetness of this age that is just on that cusp, going from childhood to adolescence, that it was so sweet to see them in their finery. Some of the girls were wearing high heels. The boys were in coats and ties. One even had a tux on. It was just so dear to me, and you could just see that excitement, how excited they were. This was a big deal for them. And this was juxtaposed. It was literally bookended because I'd been watching the news before I picked her up, and I watched the news after I did. It was bookended by the devastating attack in Manchester, England. And I think it hit me so hard because that sweetness that I saw on display by my daughter and her friends, I know was also on display in Manchester. I mean, what more exciting rite of passage is there than going to your first concert, right? And just the two of them together, those two events together just really hit me in a deep way. So clearly, we live in a complex world. And we live in a world in which there's such sweetness and there's such random terror. And it can be hard to know how to hold those things, can't it? So today, for those of you who have attended Unity before, you know that this year we're studying this year we're studying the 12 powers. The 12 powers as Unity teaches them, that we all have 12 powers inside. And each month we're looking at a separate power. So the power for May is power, the faculty of power. So all this month we've been looking at different ways in which we manifest power in the world. And I want to remind you of what the definition is by Unity. That power ultimately is about dominion over our own thoughts and feelings. It's not power over. It's never supposed to be power over. It's supposed to be our consciously choosing our thoughts and feelings and to further God's work in the world. That was the phrase used by one of our Unity writers. She said, power is to be used to further God's good work in the world. And God knows we need good work in the world these days, don't we? So, we're taught that in Unity, we're taught that we have creative ability, that our power gives us creative ability, that we have the power to choose our thoughts and feelings. Our Unity co-founder, Myrtle Fillmore, said this about it. She said, "You will come to understand that because you are offspring of God, with freedom of choice, and with command of the power, faculty, and qualities of being, you can determine just what will come in your life." Well, those are pretty awesome words if you stop to think about it. But I want to say that, does that mean that we always have the power to stop chaos or destruction in our world? The answer is no. Does it mean that we always have the power to stop challenges or sadnesses in our lives? And again, the answer is no. But what it does mean is that we always have the opportunity, we always have the freedom, and we always have the power to choose how we're going to think and feel about what it is that we experience in our world. In other words, we can choose how we experience something. And many of you may remember the example of Viktor Frankl. People remember the name Viktor Frankl, who wrote a very well-known book called Man's Search for Meaning. And he was a Jewish psychologist who was imprisoned in Nazi concentration camps during World War II. Now, it's almost hard to imagine a worse situation to find yourself in, right? But he noticed that there was a vast difference between the people who were in that same situation, depending on how they chose to use their power, depending on how they chose to think and feel about things. And he studied that, he saw that those who were consciously choosing their attitude, you know, if people who were thinking about projects they might want to complete someday, or focusing on the little tiniest scraps of beauty that they might encounter during the day, or, you know, the people that they loved, he found that those people did infinitely better in that very dark situation than others. So again, it's an incredible reminder to all of us that no matter what our circumstance, no matter what situation we find ourselves in, we are always free to choose our attitude. So it's kind of interesting today on Memorial Day, you know, looking at our Unity teachings that tell us we have that power. As Americans, we have the wonderful document known as the Declaration of Independence that tells us we have the freedom to pursue happiness. That's a freedom that we're given as an American. And the freedoms that we enjoy and learned about in our Declaration of Independence, of course, are the freedoms that the very people we honor today died for. Now, none of us today are in that situation where we have to do that. But I'd like us to move beyond this exploration of power in our individual lives, which we've been looking at throughout the month, and start thinking about our power as a collective. Start thinking about our power as a group of people. Because we have tremendous power, and I think everybody would agree we have tremendous things to work for. And I know that when people think about, well, what can I do to make a difference? I'm just one person. I know that we can feel pretty powerless, right? It seems like, well, I'm just a drop in the bucket. But there's a wonderful quotation by Mother Teresa that I actually have on a poster in my home office, which says that, we think that we're just a drop in the ocean, but the ocean would be so much less if it were not for our one drop. So we need to think of ourselves as having real power to affect a change, to affect the world around us. And more importantly, we need to use it. So when we are devastated by news, which unfortunately seems to come pretty often these days, but when we are devastated by something like we witnessed in Manchester, instead of being fearful, instead of thinking, I'll never send my kid to a concert, instead of holding our hearts back from populations that perhaps that lone terrorist was a member of, we need to look for signs of the good. We need to look for the good, which sometimes can be a real struggle and a real challenge, but it is there. Because our unity teachings also say that whatever it is that we focus on will expand. So if we keep our focus on the horror, on the fear, on the sadness, on the anger, what are we going to get more of? That. And when we discipline ourselves, when we use our power to choose our thoughts and feelings, to look at what's good, what's right, what's beautiful, what's worth protecting in this world, then we experience more of that. And for those of you who are on social media, you may have seen that wonderful story that our modern philosopher, Mr. Rogers, once gave, that can be pulled out and often is pulled out at times like these. He said that his mom, when he was growing up, whenever there was a catastrophe, whenever there was something of great sadness that was displayed in the world, Mr. Rogers' mom always said, look for the helpers. Look for the helpers, because there are always helpers. No matter how bad things are, there are always people helping. And we have the power to be helpers, both individually and collectively. We need people who care. We need people who care about Unity Spiritual Center. We need people who care about our city. We need people who care about our country. And we need people who care about our world. Because what good is a power if we don't use it for good? But the other question that I want you to begin reflecting on, what good is power if we only use it for ourselves? Yeah. So on this Memorial Day, when we celebrate those who made the ultimate sacrifice for others, I want to invite all of us, and I include myself in this list, to really think about what it is that we want to use our power for. We have an extra day tomorrow. We're not in our busy schedules, most likely. So let's reflect on Memorial Day. What is it that we really hold dear? What is it that we most deeply want to see made manifest in our world? We might even consider the question, what is it that I feel so strongly about that I would die for, that I would pay the ultimate price for? But we can start smaller than that. We can start smaller than that. But as we do, we just have to remember that freedoms and power sometimes involves sacrifices. It's not all about getting. It's about sometimes doing things that aren't convenient, doing things that sometimes aren't fun or enjoyable or something that we even want to do. Requires sacrifice sometimes. So I want to invite all of you right now just to take a small step. A small step. It could be walking to Walgreens to pick up potato chips for our barbecue in between now and the time we eat. It could be helping somebody with their plate as they stand in line. It could be volunteering to help clean up afterwards. I see the hospitality team saying yes. Absolutely. Those are small sacrifices that we can make that help the collective. So start there. And then begin thinking of even bigger ways that you can use your power for something bigger. Dream of what it is that you want to take a stand for in your life. Dream of what it is that you want us to take a stand for. I would love to hear your ideas. If you think that our community here at Unity Spiritual Center could do something powerful in service of those in our community, tell me your suggestions. I'd love to hear them. Before we move into our guided meditation, I want to leave you, I want to close with a prayer that is decades old, but I think you'll see as I say these words, as we pray these words, that it has incredible relevance for our times today. So as we listen, let us keep in mind that the power that we share can truly change the world. So let us pray. Almighty God, you have given us this good land as our heritage. Make us always remember your generosity and constantly do your will. Bless our land with honest industry, truthful education, and an honorable way of life. Save us from violence, discord, and confusion, from pride and arrogance. Make us who came from many different nations with many different languages, a united people. Defend our liberties and give those whom we have entrusted with the authority of government the spirit of wisdom, that there might be justice and peace in our land. When times are prosperous, let our hearts be thankful, and in troubled times, do not let our trust in you fail. We ask all this in your name. Amen. So let's use our power to dream a bigger dream, to live a larger life, to be active, to be an active part of our communities and our world and beyond. Let's be the helpers. And so it is. Amen.
Reverend Maggie, may I have something to say? It's about Veterans Day. Tomorrow, we're going to have Veterans Day at the Golden Gate Cemetery. There's a ceremony going on. It takes about an hour. It's about all the dead. There's 7,000 head graves out there. So they have
Thank you, Mike. And thank you for your service in 3 wars. So if they can do it for him, we can. Let's stand up and give him a big round of applause. Thank you. All right, as Shirley dims the lights, we're going to move into our time of guided meditation. So just let yourself lean back against that chair. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel supported, as you always are supported by the divine. And before we move into our meditation, or as we move into our meditation, let us begin with the beautiful song, Holy, Holy, Holy. We'll sing it 3 times, beginning with We Are Holy, moving to You Are Holy, and ending with I Am Holy.
We are holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy. You are. You are holy, holy, holy. You are holy, holy, holy. You are holy, holy, holy. You are holy. You are holy, holy, holy. You are holy, holy, holy. You are holy, holy, holy. You are holy. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy.
So allow yourself to continue to relax. Embrace the words and affirmations that I'm about to say as if they were your very own. Because we have gathered here today for a spiritual purpose, to unite in a conscious awareness of God's ever-present love. Let us sink deeper and deeper into that. And as we enter into this sacred activity of prayer, let's focus on the sweet truth of our oneness. We are aware of the presence of love within us and around us as we silently affirm, in God we live and move and have our being. We embrace this innate knowing in the stillness. So together, let us rest in this affirmative thought. I am at peace. I rest in this tranquil moment, mindful of my breathing. As I take a deep cleansing breath, I I feel my body relax. I focus on my breathing as I hold this centering thought. I inhale love and I exhale peace. I inhale love and I exhale peace. I am at peace this very moment, heart-centered and serene. In God, I live and move and have my being in the silence. I open my heart to infinite wisdom. I am one with infinite intelligence, the all-knowing mind of God. Divine wisdom is instantly accessible. I open my mind and heart to infinite wisdom now. I let go and let God as I release all concern and listen. Divine light, radiant around me and within me, shines forth and dispels any shadow of uncertainty. My confidence grows. Answers are revealed. And clarity is mine in the silence. I envision peace, harmony, and love for all people. The love of God assures peace, goodness, and harmony in me and in the lives of others. Divine love moves me, inspiring my thoughts, my words, and my actions. My relationships are infused with care and consideration. They are harmonious and blessed. I envision a world that is free, awakened to the presence of God's love and peace. I affirm peace, harmony, and love among all people in the silence. And now, as we begin to come back to our outer sanctuary, knowing that we can always revisit our inner sanctuary at any time, we give thanks for all the incredible blessings in our lives. We give thanks that this sacred time of prayer has quickened divine energy in us, blessing our lives and all of life. So beginning now to stretch, perhaps moving your fingers or your feet, perhaps taking another deep breath. Begin to move now into regular consciousness. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Thank you, God. Unity offers practical, positive, progressive spiritual teachings and tools that honor the truth in all religions and respects each individual's right to choose a spiritual path. And here at Unity Spiritual Center, we have an inspiring vision, an exciting mission, and compelling values by which we strive to live. And I invite you now to please say them with me. Our vision is centered in God. We co-create a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. Our mission is we are a creative, joy-filled spiritual community dedicated to healing, inspiring, and transforming the lives of all people through prayer, education, and love. And our values are we are spirit-led, generous with resources, inclusive, joyously creative, and guided by integrity. And in this space, feeling inspired by our vision, mission, and values, feeling enriched by what we've experienced here today and what we're about to experience, let us take time now to be a channel for enrichment through our generous tithes and love offerings. Practicing the principle of tithing ourselves as a spiritual community, we will be tithing 10% of the offering collected today to the West Central region of Unity Churches and to Unity FM. So let us take time now to bless our tithes and love offerings, holding them in our hands, perhaps placed next to our hearts as we say our offering blessing. Divine me, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
If you got a problem, don't care what it is. If you need a hand, I can show you this. I can help. Two strong arms, I can help. It would sure do me good to do you good. Let me help. It's a fact that people get lonely. Ain't nothing new, but there ain't nobody here that should ever have the blues. Let me help. Too good is let me help. It would sure do me good to do you good. Let me help. And when I get to sleep at night, it's always a part of my dreams. We'll be doing all right, telling me everything I want to hear. Well, don't forget me, people. All you gotta do is call. You know how I feel about you. I can do anything at all. Let me help. I can sure be handy. Let me help. It would sure do me good to do you good. Let me help. Well, it sure do me good to do you good. Let me help. Thank you.
Please join with me in blessing our offering, giving thanks for all the blessings in our community, including all the people who've given service today. I just want to thank them in advance too. Dear God, we
Give thanks for the many blessings that are in our church this very moment. We open ourselves to the infinite possibilities that are ours to choose. We are filled with a mighty faith that empowers and frees us to live our divine purpose and serve our community with excellence. And so it is. Amen.
Now, someone can go grab Jim McLean. Actually, Troy, if you don't mind just grabbing him, I want to bring him in. Sure. McLean has been a blessing of our congregation for many, many, many years. And we are sad to be saying so long, but hope to see you again.
Thank you very much.
Today he's moving to Mississippi. So in a week. So I have already given him the official Unity Spiritual Center of San Francisco cap. So he will remember where his family is, that he will always have a family here. But for many, many, many years of contribution and service, let's give a big round of applause to Jim McLean. And he's spending his last day like he's spent so many days in service. He's been frying up or grilling meat for us, and we've got a great big spread to celebrate. And veggie burgers, all right. Thank you so much, Jim, for everything. And as I mentioned, not that you didn't know already, we do have a wonderful barbecue planned for you following the service. So Ron Willis, John Antoni, Jim, who else was out there? Brian Lance. It was so great. I walked in, it's all dudes, right? I said, wow, 4 men, that's unusual.
Dudes and barbecue.
Exactly. But they've been working hard, and I know our hospitality team always works hard. Ron Willis brought in a cake for Jim, too, so we've got a really wonderful spread for you. Please do stay and enjoy our holiday barbecue. I also want to tell you about a couple of events coming up. We have flyers in the back for an interfaith gathering that we are actually underwriting. This is Amy Gallant, our, I don't know if I can call her a metalsmith in residence, but she has come to USC a couple of times to share her wonderful interfaith artwork. The mezuzahs that you'll see on our front door frame and also the outside of our sanctuary doors were created by Amy. And she's doing a wonderful installation of her interfaith project, working with spiritual organizations around the city, including ours. As I said, we are the underwriter for this organization, or for this exhibit. So please do join us. She's got 2 possibilities. Next Saturday, June 3rd, she's going to be doing a wonderful full host of activities, and also Sunday, June 4th. So if you want to go Sunday, do come here first, and then you can head off to Amy's, but 2 different opportunities for you to experience that. And we had a wonderful intentional creativity salon here yesterday. For those of you who haven't yet come, I just want to plant the seed. The next one that we do, I think, is on the 4th Saturday in June. It'll be in our flyers outside, but there's such a wonderful way for women, although we did have an intrepid guy show up to one of them, to get together in a circle and really study our power of the month in community and through creativity. So please do join us for that next time, which will be the end of June. So with all of that, with great gratitude for the many incredible treasures of our spiritual community, let's bring in another treasure, which is our kids.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Good morning. Well, today we spoke a little bit about what Memorial Day is about. They knew. It was really great. So we talked about some of the qualities that maybe servicemen and women have in order to serve. And they came up with a nice list of words. And then we made these badges to remind us. So go ahead. You can show your movements. Peace. And these are words that we can use every day in our lives. So that's also really nice that we came up with these words. And then our little guy here, he was just playing. And he made a badge, but it has little ants on it. And then we have Jack in the back.
Jack in the back.
And Jack decided he didn't want a badge, but he made a beautiful picture. So let's bless our children.
We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold the presence of God in you, empowering you to do great things.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let us know that we can achieve that because
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. Wherever I am, God is. And all is well.